This is episode 203 now. Good morning and welcome to the show. Barry Fair and Steve Wood with you, and this is Steve's last week with me for the time being. It's not farewell, but see you around. And Steve, what a pleasure it has been to work with you again, and thanks for coming on the show. The show again, and what a beautiful day it is today. And
It is.
and last week it was raining and cold. Well, just before we get into today's show, just recapping last week's show where we made that delicious frittata, and it was beautiful. Do see the video we've put up for it, and perhaps you and your family would like to make a big frittata. We made bacon and broccoli frittata. That was Julie's recipe. Joining me now in the studio for the final time. Good morning to Steve Wood. Welcome.
Thanks for introduction, Barry. Yep, always a pleasure to be here with my good friend, Mr. Barry Fear. Great time last week cooking that frittata. I had a lot of fun, and the result was great too. So great to be back here. Not the last time I'm seeing Barry, I'm sure, but the last time on this little stint, because Barry's regular gig on Wednesday's back next week. So it's our last day today. So let's do something. Let's do something interesting.
Well, why don't we bake up a cake?
A cake? We could bake up a cake. You fancy a cake today, Barry?
Yep, we will bake. Let's bake up
Let's bake a cake. Okay? We'll just need a recipe then, Baz.
So, unfortunately, again, we can't go offsite in case I've got someone, so okay, it's very important that I stay in case someone does arrive. So, which brings me on to the opening segment. Before we go on to anything else, always commit to your appointments, whether they're out or at home. Here's Steve now for his opening
I'm
segment.
a bit of a time freak, actually, Barry. You probably know that about me. I like to be early for everything, so very important. If you've got an appointment, stick to it. Always try to be a little bit early.
Okay, and the important thing, if you are sick before your appointment, cancel the appointment and reschedule it. Don't just not turn up without using a phone or your email. Here's Steve.
That's right. Just make sure that you give somebody else the opportunity to have your appointment, and you reschedule it. It's just polite, and it's the right thing to do. So make sure you do.
Because you don't just not turn up, ladies and gentlemen, because I have said this to you on many of the episodes that I have brought to you, and confirm your appointment as well, just to make sure that you don't double book yourself and things like that.
That's right.
Here's my offside.
That's right. It's always good to get a confirmation from whoever you're seeing, and if you haven't, then send them a confirmation so that everybody's aware there's an appointment going to happen, and everybody's up to date.
Okay. And another thing we did bring up, I did this with a guy called Nathan. Okay. This was on the first week that Rhoda was away. We went to the Vale Medical Centre at Brookvale, just near Bunnings Warehouse there. We had to get a taxi there, and always make sure that you've got transport booked for your appointment. Here's my offer.
That's right. So if you're not using transport that's available, you make sure you book and again get some confirmation from your transport provider just to make sure everybody's going to turn up.
Because it's no good, ladies and gentlemen, okay, thinking that you've got transport arranged when really you haven't. So like last week when I went to have my seating appointment, I had to make sure that there was a bus there so I could get there and back. Here's my option.
That's right. So always make sure that you've thought ahead and you thought how you're going to get there and get back, Barry.
Because don't assume that you've arranged transport, guys, when really you haven't, because confirm with the manager first who's going to do that job. Here's my option.
That's right. Make sure that you've got someone to actually run the transport for you or make sure it's organised.
And again, if you are not well, make sure that you cancel your transport to and from the venue, because you don't want the taxi drivers turning up and finding that you're not there. Here's my offside.
I think try and make sure if you're going to cancel, Barry, you do it with as much time as possible. Don't leave it to the last minute. Advice.
And don't leave it until the last minute and think, beep, because it's very off-putting to the taxi drivers, and they can lose a lot of money because they've turned up to a job that you booked, and you're not even there. So please be considerate if you are going to cancel your transport if sick. Here's my offer.
That's right. Don't just think about yourself, think about the provider and someone else. So it's always very good to make sure you commit or cancel.
So it's up to you, ladies and gentlemen, what you do, but don't leave it until the last minute, say like 2:50, 10 to 3, because you can't just tell the driver to turn around when it's halfway up the road or down the road. Here's my offside.
That's right. So people need time to organise things, very don't. So try and give them as much time as you possibly can.
So please, we know we have said this a number of times on the show, but just a friendly reminder, please be aware of your movements. Tell the manager if you're not well before your appointment so they can reschedule it on another day and another time and allocate the van to someone else. Here's my offside.
That's right. It's very important that when we've got shared facilities, we all share and share alike, and to try and make it easy for everybody. So try and make sure you as much as possible.
So don't be rude and think about yourself, guys, because here at Oceania, the vans are shared with the other clients and drivers as well. So please don't waste fuel, time, and effort, because the van could be out on another job, or it may be called in to do another job. Here's my option.
That's right. So we need to make sure that we utilise the vans as efficiently, Barry, and properly and fairly as we can. Make sure everybody gets what they need.
So please be aware. So please be considerate of your taxi drivers. Okay? Ring them as soon as possible don't ring them when they're on the way here, because it can make them very angry. Here's my offside.
That's right. It's a difficult job being a taxi driver, I reckon, Barry. Trying to be everywhere on time for everybody. So take them into consideration and be considerate to others.
And make sure that you've got enough dockets and money to give to the taxi driver. Here's my offside.
Yeah, always make sure you've got enough of your taxi dockets. Got some spare ones, Barry. Always carry some spare ones around with you, so that you've always got something.
So don't just say, I haven't got any money or dockets. Be prepared if you are catching a taxi. Here's my offside.
That's right. Make sure that you're all prepared, which means thinking about where you're going, how many you might need. Always carry some spares, and be always ready. That's right.
Well, the next topic is going to be about being honest. Now, being honest with someone like a one-on-one person, honesty does work, guys. Don't tell them porcupines. Here's my offside.
That's right. Always be honest with everybody you meet. That's right. It's a great attribute for everybody. If everybody was honest, the world would be a better place.
So don't lie to them. Be honest. So honesty, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, it does work. And if you're honest with people, they will be honest with you. Here's my offside.
That's right. It's a two-way thing, Barry, isn't it? You know, if you lie to someone, they're likely to lie back to you. So keep all your dealings with everybody honest and true.
And apologizing to the person too. At the end of the day, don't let them suffer. Here's my offside.
That's right. So everybody knows when people are telling porcupines, Barry.
And
so things honest with everybody, then everybody will be nice to each other.
So when has anybody told you a porcupine?
That's right. I know you know when people are saying you porcupines, Barry, don't you?
So have you ever had anyone tell you a porcupine?
Oh, I've got loads of people telling me porcupine, Barry, all the time.
And how have you dealt with it?
Well, you know, sometimes I try to fish people out, and try to make them, be honest. Like when someone tells you a date, often people will say, "Oh yeah, we're there on Wednesday," knowing full well it won't be there on Wednesday. So I always try and make people tell me the truth. It's called your lie detector, Barry. Everyone's got a lie detector. You know when you're being lied to. You reckon? You can smell it, can't you? Sometimes you think, "Oh, that's not quite true." Instinct, Barry, isn't it?
And you think, oh, that stinks.
Right. That smells like a pork pie.
Well, we're going to take a break now and come back with the second part a bit later on. And today we may even bake a cake.
I think
so we'll take a break. You're watching episode 203 with Steve Wood and Barry Fear. And Steve, thank you for your help over the last couple of weeks, but I will say thank you before you leave.
It's been a pleasure, Barry. We'll be back later with today's update.
And we'll be back to talk about the restrictions too. And stay right where you are. We've got plenty more coming up today. You're watching the Daily Wraps, episode 202. The time is nearly 10 to 10, 9:48. It's Wednesday, May 12th.